Hey, this is Michael Raso for the Film Photography Podcast. Today we're going to talk about Polaroid film, specifically Polaroid pack film. Traditionally, Polaroid shooters think about Polaroid, what's known as integral film, which is film like the Polaroid 600 film for Polaroid cameras, or SX70 film. And most of you out there will recognize this. This is the Polaroid one-step close-up camera. Traditionally, this is the camera most people are used to seeing. This is aplenty at yard sales, flea markets, car boot sales, and of course on eBay. Last week I received an email from Rob Nunn in the UK. Rob is a friend of the Film Photography Podcast and actually does our show notes for every episode. And Rob asked what the different types of Polaroid film were. I thought it would be a great idea to actually send Rob a camera to the UK with some film to test out. And I'm going to use this opportunity to just show you folks out there the type of camera we're talking about and what type of film it takes. The camera in question today that I'm sending overseas is the Colorpack 2. The camera is pretty popular, and this camera uses what's known as pack film, which is still made today by Fujifilm. And Fuji makes a color film, FP100C, and they also make a black and white film called FP3000B. The different ASAs of the film, easily switchable on the Colorpack 2. Right on the top front of the camera is a little switch, and you have a choice of 75 ASA or 3000 ASA. You may say,
well, the Fujifilm is 100 ASA.
Well, just use the 75 and you should be just fine. Also, this camera uses what's known as flash cubes. And believe it or not, flash cubes can be gotten on the internet on sites like eBay.com. And very simply, it snaps in here. And then you rotate it gently there until it will not go anymore. The back opens up. And a camera like this takes film that goes through a set of rollers. The film pulls out of the camera and will yield a negative side and a positive side, and usually will take about 60 seconds to develop. I'm going to demonstrate this right now. I'm going to load this camera up. In the back, close to the lens, there's a compartment to put 2 AA batteries. Now, when you're looking around at a flea market or on eBay, a very important thing to do is to make an inquiry to make sure that there's no existing batteries in the camera corroded, because then the camera will not operate. You may say, well, you know, the shutter fires without batteries, but it's not going to expose your photo properly. Your image will come out black. This camera does need batteries. The compartment opens up in the back, very simple, and you take 2 AA batteries. It says plus and minus right on it. It's very simple. Push it back. The latch will catch. Now you're ready to load the camera. Today we're going to load this camera with Fujifilm FP100C. This film is readily available on sites like B&H Photo, on eBay, freestyle.com, a number of sites. The film simply loads into the back of the camera. Make sure these little pieces here don't get caught. It just snaps right in. Close the back. Now, there's a black card here, so the first thing we'll do is pull the black card out. The thing to note is that when you're pulling film out of the camera is to pull it out very evenly and gently and firmly, but don't yank, because you do not want to have a tab break on the camera. This camera is ready to shoot. Cameraman Joe is about 6 feet away from me. I'm going to set the lens. Simple lens setting for feet. It is in feet. I'm going to set it for 6 feet. And I'm going to take a photo of Joe. That's it, Joe. Aha! And that brings us to our next exposure. But here is our photo. And you have to gently pull this out of the camera. Here we go. And here is our first exposure. And we're going to wait 120 seconds. The great thing about the Fujifilm is that the development terminates. So after 120 seconds, it's not going to continue to develop. It will just stop, which is great if you're outside taking images and you don't want to, crack and peel every exposure. And with this film, all you do is basically peel your print away from the negative. Here we go. Yay! Look at that. Yay! A camera like the Colorpack 2 camera is easily found on eBay.com. Just make sure you send a note to the seller asking them to check the battery compartment. That is the most important thing. You can get this camera starting at 99 cents. So I'm going to pack this camera up and send it to Rob Nunn over in the UK. And he's going to do a little bit of testing with this camera, get used to it, and he's going to do a blog for the Film Photography Podcast. Let us know his experience in using this camera. In any event, it's a lot of fun, and if you go out and buy one of these cameras, you will really have a ball. Please do tune in to the Film Photography Podcast. If you're shooting film, thinking about shooting film, want to shoot film, or just listen in, we're at filmphotographypodcast.com. It's free. You can download it, you can stream it, or you can listen to it on iTunes. Until next time, happy shooting.